Now this is a regular sauna, and as you can see the cabin is a lot bigger, and this is the cedar. It's not the poplar that I showed you earlier. This is cedar wood. It's actually, in my opinion, a bit sturdier, and it does have that cedar smell. You know, when you put your clothes in a cedar chest, it has that smell. So when you're going into the sauna and you turn it on, that smell permeates the atmosphere and environment, and according to some people that cedar smell can do some bit of damage to your lungs and possibly to your skin. However, it's my opinion, and you can see there's a lot more room here in this compartment here, and they use hot rocks, and I use this bucket which I fill with distilled water, and then I pour some of that water onto these hot rocks that are heated electronically, and that creates a steam that permeates the cabin. I find that the heat in the regular sauna isn't as hot as the heat that I find in the far infrared sauna. This tends to be a bit more humid air, and it goes to maybe 105, 106 degrees Fahrenheit. Also would not stay in here more than 30 minutes at a time, whereas the other sauna goes to 130 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe a little bit more, sometimes 133 degrees at times. I also find with the regular sauna, there's more of a sweating. You sweat more, you can actually lose a lot of weight by using this sauna. However, the other sauna, the far infrared, does more health-oriented benefits to it. It permeates the body. It goes in. Even it's not microwave. It's far infrared. It's healing energy. It actually helps the cells to regenerate. So there's a big toss-up about what kind of saunas to use. Of course, this kind of sauna maybe is a little bit cheaper to use. You cannot take this one apart. Once it's put up, it's there until it's time for it to go see Jesus. But quite honestly, I like both of them. I think they both have benefits. When you really want to lose weight, really get some sweat out, this is the way to go. When you want to heal your body, you have a condition, you want to get yourself in good physical condition, the far infrared sauna is the way to go. So it's really up to you. What do you want to use? What is your purpose? What are you going to use it for? That is an individual choice. As you can see, I have both of them, because when you can't make a decision, get everything. I was brought up thinking more is more, not less is more. So until next time, this is Stewart Swerdlow for the health segment of our report. Hello, I'm Stewart A. Swerdlow.
And this is Janet Diane Moria Swerdlow. Welcome to our segment on creating healthy relationships.
You know, in the last few weeks and months, there's been a lot of stories on the news about people, especially in Hollywood and in politics, breaking up, separating after many, many years of being married or being in a relationship. And I just find it very interesting to see that in 2011, instead of family units getting closer together despite all the things going on out there, they're moving apart and breaking up families. So what do you think people can do about that, or what do you think is going on behind all of this?
Well, obviously, of course, our obvious answer is always going to be targeting. I really believe that, of course, the best way to manipulate and control people is when they're isolated and alone. So therefore, people are falling into the ELF beams that are being beamed at them to be isolated and alone, and they're creating that because that's what their mind patterns are expecting.
I also see a lot of stories on AOL and CNN about what to do for your relationship to make it better, or what causes relationships to break up. And when I go through the sequences of information that they talk about, some of it doesn't make any sense to me, and some of it just seems like ordinary common sense that shouldn't even be on the news. What is your opinion about how people should get together or stay together as a family unit or just as a couple?
Well, I think to begin with, you have to have some sort of feeling of happiness within yourself, which is one of the issues that I am, or I should say my primary issue that I'm addressing in my January Magnify Your Mind newsletter. How to be happy within yourself is going to extrapolate in your relationships, and most people are not comfortable with who and what they are, and therefore it's a challenge for them to be comfortable within a relationship. Plus, if there are areas of discomfort within yourself, you have to deal with that. And the other person is going to magnify that. It's so much easier just to run away. But in the long run, it's not easier because you just have to keep doing it over and over and over again. Time to stop these kind of cycles and mind patterns.
Another interesting thing that's been going on is the economy, because because people losing their jobs, losing their homes, not being able to pay their bills. And I think some people stay together just for the economic benefit of it. And then when things get a little settled, they separate. Contrary to that, I think there are people who separate when there are financial problems because it's just easier to live by yourself than to have another person to take care of. But the bottom line of it is, in my opinion, if you really truly love somebody unconditionally, it doesn't matter what's going on out there in the world financially or economically. It just matters what's going on in your mind. You do a lot of affirmations for people. You find people asking for affirmations for their relationships more than any other category?
I can't say more than any other, but definitely a primary category that they want something for their relationships. However, I want to kind of backtrack a little bit, and it's a very broad topic. I'm just going to briefly touch upon it. Is most people don't know what unconditional love is. And most people, when they're together, they think they love somebody, but what they really love is their own mind pattern that they project onto that other person. So unconditional love is really a term that I don't think is understood in the depth that needs to be understood. So of course, like what you're talking about, when finances become an issue, who are we going to blame but the other person instead of looking inside of ourselves? So relationships, unconditional love, it's kind of all tied together in a way that people have not quite gotten hold of that concept yet.
Do you think there's some kind of formula that people could learn about to keep their relationships stronger?
Basic, affirmations, what you touched upon. First of all, I love myself. But even before that, I like myself. And there's so many people who don't even like who they are. So how can they like who they're with if they don't like who they are? How can they be contented with another person if they're not contented within themselves? So it's got to start with self. Always, always, always. Go within. It's a simple formula. If people would take the time instead of allow the outside world to continually distract them into areas where they really have no reason to go.
I agree with that. That's a very good point. And I think that if people did their golden altar release work, they're growing up the child within, they're deprogramming, talking to Oversoul, which you're an expert at that, that would strengthen who they are within themselves, and also to remember that you don't need another person to complete you or to support you. Everything you are, everything you ever need is already inside of you because of the Oversoul and God mind within. All you ever really need to do is to decide with whom you wish to share yourself. The other person is a complement to you, and you love that person unconditionally because you love yourself unconditionally. So always have to remember that. It starts from within, as Janet said. Anything else you need to add on that?
I think that's an excellent statement and an excellent summation of what we're talking about. It's really, truly important to be comfortable with who and what you are. And from there, the relationship will build and grow. And one last thing I would like to add is you have to remember that as a microcosm of the macrocosm, meaning that everything which is within God mind is within you. Positive and negative is within God mind. Positive and negative is within you and is going to be within your partner. Everybody's a package. What package do you want to deal with? You have to make up your mind, you have to make a commitment, and then you move forward from there. It sounds maybe complicated, but in the bottom line, it's actually very simple. You deal with yourself, you deal with others, your relationships will grow and bloom. And you know what? You learn and grow and bloom in a variety of ways, and it's all for positive, beneficial use within yourself.
Well, I hope that's been a help to all of you out there. Until next time, it's Stewart A. Swerdlow
and Janet Diane Moria Swerdlow.
signing off till we see you next time.